Yep.
All right, I'll start us. No hitter. I've never been a part of one, which I've coached so many great pitchers, a lot of one hitters. I'd have to go back and look. But interestingly enough, we had a no hitter and we gave up a run. But at the end of the day, I thought Folger was outstanding. He needed that. I thought he was under control. I thought he had command of all of his pitches. Olin again has been Olin. He was outstanding. It was really good to get Cam back out there. You can see what type of stuff he has. I still have to work on getting that off speed in the zone, which he will. And then, we let the air out. It's just a matter of time before somebody, we got some big hits. I felt like we've been hitting some balls really hard, like we talked about today. And unfortunately, they've been going right to people. And our guys look really good in the box. And that's some good momentum for us, especially at the plate going into a big series against Duke.
2 strikeouts for Cam. How important do you think that was in his confidence level going forward?
Yeah, I think he was still confident. Him and Walker McDuffie, if you look at their high school numbers, they'll blow you away. And they didn't have a lot of walks, a ton of strikeouts. So he's got command, but he's had a little bit of a jump in velocity. And at times tries to do a little bit too much. But that was obviously good for him after his last outing of walking guys.
You said that your offense has been hitting the ball really hard. They haven't really been getting runs or hits from it. And tonight you guys scored 9 in 1 inning, which was more than the entirety of the Miami series combined. How important is having that? You say hitting is contagious. How important is having that momentum going into a home series with Duke?
Very important, because hitting's contagious. I was actually telling the guys, I was texting with a lot of our guys that are getting ready to start their minor league season, and was texting with Vance. And my text was just like, hey, we need the bats to heat up. And he goes, they will. Every year we go through some type of stretch where, last year, as offensive as we were looking at the Gardner-Webb score. We had a tough day offensively. It was like 5-2. But I still feel like we've been having pretty consistent at-bats, and guys haven't had a lot to show for it. And then they start chasing hits, and they start swinging out of the zone, which is one of our biggest strengths as a team, is controlling the strike zone, on-base percentage, dirt ball reads, stuff like that. So I thought, we talked about that. The Miami game on Sunday, if Sam's ball gets up the middle and then he hits the ball out, we probably end up winning that game. But sometimes you hit the ball hard and you get out, you just got to move on.
How important is capitalizing on mistakes? They didn't field it great, but when they messed up, you took advantage.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what good teams do. If you don't make a play here or there, and you face a really good team, they're going to capitalize on it, as we've done a pretty good job of doing that as well. Another guy that stood out to me, too, was Tyson Bass. I felt really good. Him and Coach Weir's been working really hard. When he missed the changeup poolside, I felt like, okay, he's back in that spot where he's going to be able to get to more pitches. So that was a big bright spot as well.
Do you think some of those new guys in the lineup this season, like Tyson Bass, like Sam, are kind of learning more some of those off-speed pitches that they're going to see?
They just haven't failed a lot. This is harder here. The scouting reports are harder. The pitchers are better. The velocity's better. And then if you get off to not a great start, every hitter's guilty of the same thing. You're just trying to get hits, and you start swinging too much, and you're swinging out of the zone. The way you get hits is you swing at pitches that are not the pitcher's pitches. So they're really working on. Sam's done a good job of doing that. He went out a little bit earlier, which he hasn't been. But I explained to him too, like, you can't be afraid to go down looking. Like that's a myth. Good hitters, as a matter of fact. I was thinking about Michael Bush last night. He would go down looking. A lot of times you go back and watch the video, it was a ball, or it's a little bit off. So I just remind these guys, like, just control the strike zone. You get 3 pitches and try not to go out of the strike zone.
The pitching, you mentioned Olin, Folger had a good start. Just sort of combining those 3 together in a no-hitter. You said you never had one.
I've
You've
never
been
had
doing this
one.
for
27 or 28 seasons. I think 27 seasons. This is my 28.
And aside from the rule book, you had 2.
I know. Yeah, dang it. If he'd got the call right and Stokely picked the ball up and stepped on first, it ended up being a no-hitter. But anyway, the biggest thing we talked about was we needed Folger to get out there. Olin was coming off a little more rest after throwing 53 in his last outing, which was at South Carolina. Did you pitch against Miami? Yeah, 1 inning.
Less than an inning.
Less than an
So you
inning.
took
Okay,
him
but
out.
we felt like Olin, he's been throwing so good, so we just felt like, okay, we wanted to get Folger and Olin out there first, and then we would have really liked to get Cam out there, use Matty Mathias if we need to. And we talked about, we have a plan, and that was the plan. In a perfect world, we go Boaz, OJ, and then Seagraves, and tonight was one of those nights.
Plan A. You talked, I think, to us this morning about you just want to get Folger more innings, and probably the same with Olin and Cam. How important is it getting them innings in this type of situation, or there's a little bit more of a margin for error?
Olin's now proven that he's part of our bullpen. We would start him if we needed to, but he's one of our weapons out of the bullpen. Folger, we do feel like, can be that fourth starter. But we also have been looking at Duke, and we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they've got some lefties. And Folger's splits have been really good against left-handers. So we knew he needed work, but we also knew he was going to be capped so he could be ready to pitch against Duke at least Friday and Saturday. So that was the plan.
How does Thursday, Friday, Saturday after a midweek change anything, or does it?
Well, we went into it. We weren't going to throw Lynch today. We weren't going to throw McDuffie. We knew that we wanted Olin and Folger ready at least by Friday. But we also want, you got to go by what the game gives you. And we were going to win the game because you need to win that game. If you lose that game, the plan's no good going into Duke. But, Folger having that good start, having command, coming back from that 3-0 count, getting that guy out. And then Olin doing the same thing he did against South Carolina. That's length. And before you know it, you're in the 7th inning, and you have more options, which helps you save your pitching for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll be fully loaded rolling in there against Duke. Thank y'all.
Olin, you started the season as a starter, and now Forbes said you're confidently in that bullpen. You've had some great stints out of there. Can you just kind of take me through that change, both maybe any mechanical mindset shifts?
I think mostly my mindset, switching to the bullpen was a change. It's something that I never had done before. But getting used to throwing more often, and I can go on 2 days rest, that's not something I really had in my mindset last year. I would throw, and then it'd be a week, and I'd throw again, and I'd kind of give my arm that rest. So I had this I assumed that my arm was delicate and that I had to take really good care of it. But now I just bounce back, and I feel like I'm adapting to that. So I think that helps. And going into the bullpen definitely takes the thinking out of it. I know we talked about this in the summer, but a lot of thinking going on before a start. If the game's at 6, I'm thinking all day long, and I think that has definitely helped me. I don't know when I'm gonna pitch, but I know if I do, I'm going in the game, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, how is your mental transition? I've watched you pitched a lot, and I've never seen you yell into your glove in the middle of an outing like you did tonight, and you also did it at South Carolina. So can you just kind of take me through what exactly is that headspace on the mound?
I think it's definitely shifted because as a starter, I've tried to pace myself, and I probably shouldn't be doing that, but subconsciously I'm pacing myself on the mound when I go out there, and I lose a little bit of that edge. When I'm coming out of the bullpen, I talked to Coach Gaines about this. I'm just throwing every ball as hard as I can through the zone and letting them decide when to take me out. So as a starter, it kind of got hard for me when I'm sitting in the dugout and I'm thinking about how many pitches I need to throw next inning to be on a good pace, and this eliminates that completely. When I come out of the bullpen, I'm just waiting for them to make the call.
Yeah, Ryan told us that you maybe have 5 minutes to know that you're going in when you get your name called. And against South Carolina, you were just pacing in the dugout between your innings. What's going through your mind in those small downtimes?
I'm just trying to think about how I can do my job to the best of my ability. Getting the first guy is something we talk about a lot, so that's all I'm really focusing on, is coming out and getting the first guy, not thinking about what's after that.
It looks like you're talking to yourself on the mound. Are you doing that, and are you able to tell us what you're saying?
I do talk to myself a little bit on the mound. I don't know if I can tell you what I'm saying, but it's just, I don't know. It's fine, but kind of embarrassing. I don't know. It's
Has coming out of the bullpen changed at all how Coach Gaines or you go into the game plan just when it comes to calling pitches?
I don't think so. I think one thing he's talked to me about a lot is using the fastball as my strength. I think that's the pitch I feel the most confident in, and I don't think that's really changed out of the bullpen. But definitely with the changed mindset coming into the game, I think the fastball plays up. And so he's been going to that often, early in counts, late in counts. When the slider's on, he'll call it more often. But it's mostly the same, just attacking with the fastball.
Do you feel more confident in that fastball coming out of the bullpen than starting?
I think so. I mean, on a day like today where I obviously, like, I didn't really have as much juice behind the fastball, like throwing it with confidence out of the pen just because I'm not thinking about it, I think that helps the fastball altogether.
Is the game easier for you out of the pen, you think?
I think just the mental side of things, I would say yes. I'm going after hitters. I'm not trying to pace myself, and that makes it easier for me, I feel like.
Do you know when y'all are in the middle of a potential no-hitter, do you know that as a pitcher?
I did not know that until after I came out.
Coach Forbes mentioned this was his first time in all of his years of coaching being part of a no-hitter. Have you been part of a no-hitter before, and if so, like, what was that feeling like tonight?
I don't think I have either. I haven't been a part of one. I take that back. My sophomore year, I threw one. It's definitely more fun on a bigger stage, and to combine it with my teammates too. Like, I know Cam's going to come out of the bullpen and pick me up, and it feels good to be able to piggyback off of Folger early in the game. So I think it's more fun with several guys throwing.
Forbes told us that you came to him and said that you would start if he needed you to, but you think that your place is in the pen. Is that all you think because of the mental change? Or do you think, like you said, your fastball plays up, do you think the stuff has something to do with that?
I don't think so. I think I've definitely had a little bit more success out of the pen, and I feel like I can help the team win out of the pen more significantly. Like, I think I have a greater impact on games when I'm in that position, and so I just wanted him to know that I'm not only wanting to start, and I don't know. That's the only reason I told him, because he had said, like, I'm not afraid to start you if we need to, and I didn't want him to think that I was just trying to start games. But yeah.
You good?
Yep.
Thanks, Olin. Congrats. Sam, a batting average, obviously, Forbes will say batting average is misleading. It hasn't been the greatest, but you've really been stinging balls, and as you know, Forbes will say sticking with the process. So how gratifying is it to get some of the big hits just for you tonight and then this offense as a whole?
Yeah, it's been a big step for me. I'm trying to, keep that confidence up there at the plate. Coach Weirs and Coach Forbes and even the whole coaching staff, Coach Jackson, have been so supportive with me, even with my slow start. So it's been really good for me, especially seeing the ball well. I'm just trying to be on time and hit something hard somewhere. So they've been a really big help for me.
How do you make sure that you don't fall into kind of like a mental rabbit hole when you're going through a hard stretch like that?
Yeah, it's hard. You're playing a mind game with yourself up there a lot of times, especially when you're going through it like that during my slow start. So it's just trying to relax. Especially after I struck out that second at bat, Coach Weirs and Coach Forbes were telling me, you got to slow down up there, relax like you've been doing, just stay slow and hit something hard somewhere. So that's really what I tried focusing on and hit a home run. So I guess it worked a little bit. So
that one definitely did work. But can you kind of clue us in? Forbes talks about how important a routine is for hitters.
Yeah.
For kind of staying locked in. Can you kind of clue us through what your routine is like?
Yeah, early on it was kind of all over the place. I was just getting ahead of myself, rushing, and then my routine was just different every single time, every single pitch. So like my routine's very specific now and honing on one thing. I try to walk up to the plate slow, fix my gloves, put my barrel under my arm here and just take a nice deep breath, close my eyes, and really center myself. So, and be ready to hit something. So, yeah.
How difficult is it being a DH and sitting between opportunities like that?
Yeah, it's a different adjustment for me. I've DH'd before growing up, but it's a different adjustment, especially at this level. But I get to watch that pitching staff do that great job today. Folger, Olin, Seagraves, they all dominated today. So it was good to watch them in the dugout. Just trying to keep myself ready, whether that's just running down in between innings, just to keep my legs loose and get my body ready to go up there.
So the last couple of weeks you've hit the ball well all year, but having some success. What's changed to have the success versus not having the success earlier? Is it mentally? Is it seeing it better?
I'd say it's a little more mental, just kind of trusting myself. Early on I wasn't really trusting myself and, telling like whether I, actually belong up here in this level. And, once I got that confidence back in myself and really honed in on like trusting the process, like Coach Forbes says, just keep going, and every at bat's a new at bat, and just keep going. So I've taken that to heart, and it's been playing well for me so far now. So.
How did you kind of get that confidence back? I mean, Forbes talks about that you and Tyson, your numbers from before you came to Carolina are just kind of like mind-blowing. And so when you come here and you have to experience a little bit of that hardship, how do you get that confidence back that you had?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, everyone's just as good or not way better than you at this level. So it's, like I said, just keeping the confidence in yourself and like, you can do this and really get up there and show it and prove to yourself that you can do it, I really think goes a long way. So especially for me and Tyson, we laugh about it now, like just trusting ourselves. So
What do you think the hardest adjustment was?
Outside of maybe velocity, pace of play, it's just everything's just so much quicker up here. So, early on it was just everything was getting in my head quick because everything's moving so fast, and that's especially where the coaching staff comes in, and especially my teammates who have been through it, like Luke and Madera, who came up last year, just trying to just slow the game down, which I think really made a big difference for me in the past couple weeks, and obviously it's playing in my favor a little bit. So
When you talk about teammates, is there anyone in specific that's really kind of helped you with that transition?
I honestly, I could point a bunch of guys out for you, but everyone's really been great. Madera's been really good, especially because he can relate to me coming from a D3 school. Stoke and Steve have been great. Vandy and Knapp have been real big for me, encouraging me, telling me to keep going, like it's going to come, we're getting there, we're getting closer and closer, and now I think I'm finally back there. So I can confidently say that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you hit your home run in the bottom of the sixth. Can you talk about what you saw as the ball crossed the plate and how you felt as the ball went over the wall?
Yeah, so the past couple weeks I feel like I've been striking balls well, and they're just not finding grass or not finding a spot for me to get a hit there. So Coach Forbes told me after my last strikeout, you got to stop trying to chase hits. Just go up there and swing at something good and hit something hard as you can. And first I thought I got under it a little bit, but then it just kept going and going, and then a smile came on my face when it went over the fence. So it was good to finally hit one in front of this Carolina crowd. So,
how do you make sure that offensive consistency that you guys found in the sixth inning continues this weekend against Duke?
Like Coach Forbes said with when he was talking to Vance or all the minor league guys he was talking about, like the bats are going to come. Like every team goes through tough stretches with the bats, but we're getting hot, I think, at the right time here coming up against Duke, and then we got Wake Forest next week. So I think we're in a good spot offensively.
How important is it to have that offensive consistency? Forbes says hitting is contagious.
Contagious, yep.
And these are the next 2 weekends that you guys really need to have that.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's very contagious, and we're just trusting each other. I know I keep bringing that up, but we're just trying to trust each other in that locker room, each guy, and play for each other. And, like Coach Forbes says, play every 9 inning as hard as we can, stay with the process of each pitch of every inning, and that's what we're trying to do right now. So win each game as we can, as down one at a time, So.
Have you ever been a part of a no-hitter?
No, I have not. I've been a part of a few one-hitters before, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've been part of no-hitter, no. But, getting to watch this pitching staff every day it's a pleasure. These are some of the best arms I've ever seen. And it's honestly a joy just getting to watch them every single day coming out and watching in the dugout. So. Have
you ever ruined a no-hitter?
Me? I don't think so, no. That'd be pretty cool, but I feel bad for the guy pitching because he's throwing a no-hitter. So, but, yeah.
Good?
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah,
Thank
of course.
you.